Hey everyone, and welcome to a quick update video of Planet Coaster 2. So this evening there was the new frontier unlocked, and I've been a bit out of the loop because I have no idea what the baby situation is with me, so that's why you get a late night episode. But I quickly went through the stream. I've been in the stream as well briefly, and there are a couple of things to cover. You've seen that from the title. There's some very exciting stuff in, but let's quickly go through. Apparently you should have seen this anywhere else anyways, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but just to cover a couple of things. So first things first, they have rearranged a whole bunch of UI fixes. Basically, they've shown a lot of the things, plus some extra bits, we'll come to that in a second, of the list that is going to be in the December update. That is coming the 12th of December. Maybe that is the most important information here. So in about 3 weeks it is about, well, it's actually not that much, it's 2.5, so not even that long unto this one. Also, briefly to mention, this is Wilderness Springs by Aston, the park they showcased it all in today. So deserved. That's such a great project, though. It's just so good. Anyways, you can already see there are a couple of little things here. I hope you can see my cursor. There are now like tick boxes next to these toggles, and you can actually toggle them as we had this in a previous game as well. I really like the fact that they have this now visually on screen too, because that is something very important to do. Also, they have changed a couple of things. You can now search, for example, for things like lights, which wasn't doable previously. Now it just showed the things that had the word light in, but now the contextual menu is clever enough to understand that this is a light menu. Also, you can see there is a new toggle for triggerable or editable things. That's going to be important for another thing they also fixed with the sequencer, which is also pretty damn cool. And you can see there is now a new hover window, kind of pop-up window that showcases the price, and you can even go into further editable items over here. So they got rid of some of the overlays that open up like the extra windows and got back into all the info down here in the menu. As you know, I'm a huge fan of that. I think it's very convenient. You can see it on screen. You can open that with a controller too. It's no big deal. Really love the fact that I've done this, and they took away some of the complexity, the unnecessary complexity, I should say. Now going further in, they are now showcasing also how the menu does do a lot of other things. You can see over here, now you have like this little pop-up always on the screen, so very much nice as you go. They also had a couple of new things in here in there you can see that. Oops, I just gonna go back for a second. I'll just see that it's a little bit tricky here with the live window. There you go. You can now see there are a couple of new toggles in here. Previously, also one of the things on my list, you couldn't toggle the angle snap on pathways the same way you can toggle this in building. Now you can, and you've got all the different toggles you can edit and not, which I find a very good thing. And you also have now a chance to do a couple of things now in the brushes. Also, you can see there are a couple new icons in here in the tools, which is also pretty decent. I'm not sure what that is, because that icon is definitely a double. The same goes for the other one. I think maybe it's like a prefab. I haven't heard all of the audio, so maybe bear with me. I don't have the time to watch 1.5 hours. I tried to watch the other videos as well to get an idea. So there are also some custom stuff in, and also in the custom brushes you can now set the default color, if I completely understood that correctly, which also was one of my main gripes, that wasn't possible, simply because always, when I did this with the snow, for example, you couldn't change the color of the decal, so that was a little bit of a thing. Next up, you can see it already down here in the menu. Now the coasters are in the menu again, and if they hover over a coaster in a second, you will see that there's again this information popping up in here. Some people liked the very clean overview of like this almost like coaster card, but honestly, this is the same, and it's so much more convenient to just have it here and click it and then get to know where all the coasters is. I mean, look at how fast you can be now in choosing your coaster. You got now, oh my god, let me just count, 5, 10, 15, 30 coasters at a glance, and with all these coasters in the game, that makes a whole bunch of sense. And now down here on the left, you now have the different types, while also having now a new default. The custom creation now is a default in the game again. I remember talking to Adam on Gamescom, and they said they want to try this to put the blueprints first, and I understood this because of the casual players, but now the feedback of casual players also was that they that's no big deal to click on blueprints for them, but they want to have the default first. So well, here you go, they fixed it. I really like the fact that they did do this. Also, with the staff members, you can now see their salary and also hourly and daily, which in terms of management is good to know, because if you only employ them for a couple of hours a day, it also is good to know quickly what that means. Also, moving on, I'm just going to quickly check where they showcased that. The edge scrolling, as you can see on screen right now, is back in the game. Just no big deal to showcase that over here. And also they showcased another couple of things over the UI and what you can do with selecting path only, for example, in the selection, and all the different hotkeys you can prefab now, as they showcase on the keyboard over here. You can now have keys that actually go and tap through the different menus. So you can put basically different menus on F1, F2, F3 and so on, which makes it very convenient to quickly open them. And you can also rebind your hotkeys, which also was somewhere in here. Let me see if I can find this later on. Hopefully I can see this over here. It seems also like that you can lock some of the intensity of your different brushes they're using over here. And let me just quickly show you in a second. Oh my god, this is like in such a long live stream, it's very hard to find. There you go. Now you can see all the presets you have in here with all the different types of things you have in this brush, which makes a whole bunch of sense, because sometimes you only have to preview and you want to know what's in, so that's pretty cool. And now you have all these things that you can browse in the path area, and now you can edit just as like with the brush. You can edit the different tools into it, as you can see. Browse the tool extras if you want them, so you've got a quick access from the menu actually quickly over into the menus. Also, I don't know if you've seen that briefly, there was the F8 key toggled for the scenery tab, so you can quickly open that one up. Just as I said, you can now set them. Also, very convenient stuff now on screen in a second. You can now, or actually not you, but the game actually remembers the color you have recolored your piece into. So the default color will be remembered by the game. So if you put down a red cube and then you put down, for example, another blue cube, and you copy that one, it'll not change back to the default color. It will actually remember that one. And you can also put in different color codes if you want to. And also the color is now changing as soon as you type it in, and you don't need to click confirm again, which is one step less again. So, you know, getting lesser complexity is always welcome. And I don't really know why you would have that. Like on console, I tested that with the controller as well. You also needed to click twice, so it just doesn't make sense. You need to confirm your color anyways, and you have a basically Control Z, Control Y for like going back and forth. So there's really no need for making this over complex. So I'm really happy that they have fixed this as well. They also showcased a couple of different behaviors once you click into a building. Now I also figured that that was a thing. You don't select a piece right away, but it's like going into the building to let you edit what you want to edit. I also had that issue for, and you also have a new camera mode toggle over here, which I'm super happy now to have, because honestly that was a main gripe I had. You always need to click through the different camera modes, and I still don't get why there is no cinematic camera in here, but hell, finally we have this wonderful control over here to quickly change between the different camera modes. Again, one of these things, I'm not sure why. Anyways, one of the biggest things people wanted to have, load and unload stations. You can see the same blueprint over here twice, once without and once with a brand new unload station. I want to call this unload station because frankly, at least that's what I understood so far, is exactly this. You will have the chance to put in a dedicated unload station, and then as you can see them swiping over in a second, the unload station will exactly do this, load of people. However, I really have to praise Frontier here for a second, because they went one step further. If you see, there is still a second exit on the main station, which is, and they explained that, this is for maintenance, so that your staff members can access the ride for maintenance or for a fixture, you know, if they need to repair it for repairs, while the people are still queuing. That is good, because they can't go to the queue, and otherwise you needed to have like some kind of different mechanism to make them go from one platform to the other. And as you now have various possibilities to do that, you know, that would be way more complicated. And also what I find very interesting, if there's a breakdown of people on, or like of the coaster on the first platform, like on the main station, people still need to get exit. And this is why there is still an exit on the main station. I find this super realistic, and I like the fact that it does it this way. It also gives you an element of, well, planning. You have to plan how you do that, so that's very, very good. And I like the fact that I have basically implemented that. So as you can see, it behaves as you would expect it to behave. The one coaster train leaves the main station, and then the pre-emptied coaster train comes in. I've not seen how that actually works. I don't know if we can put multiple stations in now, like for example have like a separate one in between, but I guess you can still have like a block section in between even. So if you don't want the second train to stay there stationary in the second, you could technically put another block section in between, so the empty train would go into the block section and then be released into the main station if you want to have like a full immersion that the train leaves immediately. Also, they have added some new indicators, as you can see over here, where the entrance and exit possibilities are. So depending on which type of station you choose, now you have a bit of a visual indication, which is a very welcome addition, to be honest, because that was something I also sometimes struggled with. Another very important bit over here is the ability to customize track rides and track rides. That was something that we couldn't do. And when I did the chairlift now, people were asking me why the heck I wasn't using a track ride. Well, this is why, because you couldn't do that previously, but now you can, which is pretty damn convenient. Also, I'm still not completely understanding why it wasn't in the first place, but you know, it being in the first update, I'm very, very happy about this. They could have, you know, still locked that behind anything until next year or so. So very happy they did this relatively quickly. They also kept pushing out or putting out these things. So another cool addition they made is, well, but actually it's not an addition. They basically took something out of the game, and that is the logo of the queues, which, you know, we all didn't like that much. So it's good that it's gone. Again, it's nothing against the Planko logo. I like it, but there was no point in having that on. Like, we have a logo, we have multiple logos in the menu. If we want to have it on the ground, we'll slap it there, okay? It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes that's being weird. So, on screen, you can also see a bunch of wonderfully new coaster supports for those nerds down there. And I know there are a lot of nerds out there building your coaster supports yourself. This is, you get all of them, and people on Bro Nation even figured out that there is even support structure for coaster types that are not even in the game, which is interesting. The SLC, what was a Vekoma SLC or something? I forgot which one it was, but like there is definitely a track, you know, a coaster that isn't in game that has now its own track supports, I guess, which is funny. But yeah, these are the same, I guess, that we had in Plane Coaster 1. And if you don't use them, obviously, for a coaster, they are super, super versatile for many other builds. Like, they will be pretty damn cool for sci-fi stuff. They will be pretty damn cool for generic modern stuff. They will be pretty damn cool for backstage stuff. So these coaster support pieces are brilliant, not gonna lie. They are really, really brilliant. And also, as we could expect, they also will have something else that we all asked for, especially me, and that is the wonderful glass pieces. If we stop this here briefly, behind that work in progress sign, you can see we have 3 types X2, so 6 types, but actually there will be 3 types without a kind of frame and 3 times with a frame, which is cool because, you know, we need it without and with. And I'm totally fine as they are scalable, as you will see in a second. There is no need for more pieces. Fair enough, I would have loved a triangular piece maybe, but I mean, with the option to scale it, we should be fine. A triangular piece would still have been fine. Apparently they also seem to not like anything round in this game. Not sure if that's a thing with the engine, but surely there is not really that much round stuff in this game for whatever reason. And let me see if I forgot. Oh yeah, basically they also changed how the browser works. You can see a lot more now on screen, which is cool. And also they did take out the limit of the download limit on PC, as well as double the capacity of Sandbox parks for guests. You now can have 12,000 guests in your Sandbox park if you want to, which is also a very welcome addition for the PC players, I assume. And last but not least, there is a bit of a surprise in here, and that is being fireworks. They all do work, obviously, with the wonderful sequencer, event sequencer. As you can see, they were overlaying a couple of things over here. We've got different, you know, as you can see over here, there are a lot of different elements. Let me just stop that over here. You can see there are fireworks, large, medium, then we also have letters. letter shapes. Then with King Coaster crown, Queen Splash crown, Planko logo, whatever. There's so much in here. And then as you can see over here, there is a new element, browse trigger objects. That's what I said earlier. You have the triggerable objects now. And also what we missed, but I'm going to show you in a second, you now can also obviously toggle the weather, which is pretty damn great. And now if you can see here, we can have a continuous firework, and then there you can see it, the December update, December 12th, they kind of released that in here with the fireworks. Very nice little trick to do that, honestly, like that. It's going to loop now, it's going to be this way, so really pretty happy to have fireworks. It's just kind of like they did this last time. Last time around, they also had the fireworks in the December update. I remember that pretty well because I did this all with different VFX effects, and that was super complicated. And now they just basically added. Oh, it actually was not the first one. I think it was the spring update. So good to have it way more early this time around. So now, just for completion reasons, let me just quickly go through where the weather control was. Okay, so that's the portion of Planet Coaster done and dusted. Let me just quickly see where that was, because there is now the option to control the weather. Ah, there you go. Look, I just found it right away. What is that? 3740. Okay, let's go to like 31 to see where they're open at. So now if you click on the weather tab, you will have the option to override the weather, which is basically the same as like overriding the time. As you can see down there, override the weather, click on sunny, it is going to be sunny, click on clear, cloudy, light rain, heavy rain, and windy. So also very interesting to see that there is like which kind of different states there are in here for the weather. So I mean, it was kind of clear, wasn't it? But now you have clear, sunny, hot, I guess wasn't in there, but like, let's see if they will add more in the future. But it's very good to see. What they haven't shown, or I missed this, I don't know, but there is not really that much more about flumes. So they haven't shown any new physics or anything of the flumes, which would have been lovely to see, but it wasn't in. So yeah, apparently that's that. They also showcased a couple of things, but I want to reinforce checking out Wilderness Springs by Aston, because it's a beautiful park. He even says it's not that great of a layout, but honestly, that's the charm of it, I guess. You know, some water parks I've been to have horrendous layouts. It's just like, honestly, the worst ever, but just kind of feels cozy anyway, so whatever. Anyways, that's been it for my update. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Nevertheless, I wasn't able to prepare anything, but that was my stuff I could pull out of it. Very happy to see all these things coming. If I missed anything you have spotted or listened to or heard somewhere else, make sure to drop it down in the comments so people will know about it. Thank you so much, and I talk to you as always in the next one, whenever that's gonna be. So see you there, and bye.